I really enjoy chicken casseroles, and this recipe is so easy and so delicious. And I'm using the corn-fed chicken. So this is the full corn-fed chicken. This is the Board Bia quality assured, and it's fed on maize. And if you've seen my other videos, I've shown you how to take the legs off and take the breasts off, and that's what I've done here for this recipe. So it's really full of flavour, the corn-fed chicken. Even if you're roasting it whole like that with some lemon, some lovely fresh thyme, it's such a beautiful, succulent, juicy chicken. So I've started the process for the casserole. So I'm using my casserole pot, part of my cookware collection. So I've kept the skin on, and we've literally cooked that with some rapeseed oil and of course some butter. You know me and the butter. And what we've done is just literally brown that off for a few minutes. So it's still raw in the centre. That's really important, because it needs to be cooked into the oven, but that's where you're going to get the flavour. So see all this lovely juice, the butter and the oil. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put in our lovely onion and our sweet potato. So just slice the onion. You can chop it and just slice it in mine. So just one onion sliced, and I'm going to pop that in, and then we're going to pop in some garlic. Now, so just pop the onion in, and then some lovely sweet potato. So I've just peeled the sweet potato with a potato peeler. You need to be careful with this now, because it is quite a firm ingredient, the sweet potato. So that's it, nice big chunks. So if you just zoom in there, Melna, and we'll just get that perfect. And then what we're going to do is just literally put the rest of this in here. Lovely. Now we stir all this together. So give it a nice stir, and you can see all the lovely sediment there. So just keep stirring that. And that's it there, lovely. Now, a couple of cloves of garlic. So I'm going to use my garlic crusher. So just rock that over and back, and then just using a small knife, just literally scrape that. This has got to be one of the hero pieces from the cookware collection. Crush it. It's so easy to clean too. So you just rock it over and back. Good muscle in you for doing that, but it is such a great little piece. People love it, so they do, and it's been sold out many times. So there you go, you'll have that. It's so popular. Now what I love is bacon in the casserole, and this is O'Neill's bacon. So they're based in Wexford, the same producer that we use in the restaurant, Board Bia quality assured, and this is their dry cure unsmoked bacon. So I'm going to put the full packet in here. Now just give that a nice little, break it up a little bit. Just kind of spread it out. So lardons are little strips of the bacon. So kind of just spread that out. See the way I'm using just my essential spoon just for this here. And you know, casseroles are kind of like a dish that actually tastes better the next day, and it'll keep really well in your fridge. So it will, and you can just heat it up, serve it with mashed potato or rice, whatever you want to. Some lovely chestnut mushrooms. Just always wipe mushrooms, you never wash them because they become waterlogged, and just slice them into nice big kind of chunks, and then using your knife just bring them over and they go in there. So we're not looking to get colour here. What we're looking to do is to just start the whole cooking process. One bay leaf, and this is the fresh bay leaf, just literally tear it like that, and that's going to give the most delicious flavour. Now, so you're coating everything. So sweet potato, you could use pumpkin that's coming into season, you could use carrots, whatever you prefer to use. Now we're going to put in some fresh thyme. So I'm just going to literally, using my scissors here, pick some of the fresh thyme. I'm going to put some of this in here. I love fresh thyme. It's one of my favourite herbs in a casserole, with beef, with lamb, with chicken, with pork. It's so good and so delicious. So if you look at the way I'm kind of picking the thyme, and then what we usually do in the restaurant is we keep that for our stock, so we don't waste anything. Well, it's not because we're from Cavan. So just literally pick off these lovely little leaves there. So there's so much flavour in the stalks, but yet they're kind of woody, so they are. And if you put them into the casserole, they're a little bit kind of tough to eat, to be truthful with you. Now, so we're going to deglaze this with some white wine. That was a full bottle of wine. I don't know who was at it. It wasn't me. Mella's looking at me. We're going to pour in the white wine and just completely cover that. So this is an Albarino wine. So this is a lovely kind of a food wine from Galicia, I've had the pleasure of going there and seeing the whole bloody the food culture and all that, and the lovely wine. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is some stock, and the stock that I'm using is just a brown chicken stock, or you can use beef or chicken. So you just cover this, and to give a little bit of sweetness, we're going to use some of the Simply Better red currant jelly. Just a couple of spoonfuls in there. So there's 3 spoonfuls. And that's the base for the casserole. It's as simple as that. So to recap, I browned off the chicken, I took off the legs, took off the breast, and then what we did was literally completely kind of stir this, brown it off, and then we added in our lovely vegetables, and that's the sweet potato, that lovely garlic, onion, mushrooms, the bacon from O'Neill's, and you're going to get a little bit of juice. So what I want you to do is just literally pour this lovely juice over here, and the lid goes on, and that's it. It needs to come to the boil, so we'll pop the lid on here. I already have one done, because it takes about 40 minutes or thereabouts in the oven at 180. We have one cooked already. So these casserole pots, they work on induction and electric, all the kind of cooking platforms, but they're very heavy, so you need good strong muscles. So I'm going to take mine from the oven, and then we're going to serve it up. And if you find, I'll just show you it now. We'll kind of play musical chairs here as we do. So always have your oven preheated at 180. And that goes in there. Lovely. So when you're cooking this, you ready, Melda? Ta-da! The moment of truth. It's so delicious, heavy. Now that just looks to be thickened up a tiny little bit, but that has reduced. Now please don't touch the handles. That's really important, because that's where you can really get a nasty burn. So we're just going to thicken this with a little bit of corn flour, and then we serve it up. It's just a little bit. You could put in flour, toss the chicken in flour, but I sometimes think that gets a little bit gloopy. So a little bit of corn flour and water. Just stir that around. We're going to finish it with a little sprinkle of some sea salt. That's the Oriel sea salt, and then some parsley, and then we're good to serve. So a little bit of chopped parsley. You can use flat leaf. I'm just using the curly parsley, and this will keep really well. Lovely. Just a tiny little bit more corn flour. Not that I want it too heavy, but you want to cook out the corn flour. So what goes well with this? Mashed potato. One of the best things. So our mashed potato roosters, we steam them. We put them through my potato ricer, and then what we do is when they're riced and lovely, there's no lumps, we put in some butter and a little bit of milk into them. And I've used the Jersey milk, which is so delicious. Now you could pipe it if you wanted to, but I thought that's too chefy. I don't do that at home. But you got to have it lovely and soft and really moist and delicious. Now, so bring over your plate, and then what I like to do is to serve some of the chicken thigh. Okay, and then your sweet potatoes, a little bit of breast, and if you want, some of the drumstick. So there's plenty of eating in this. Just get this drumstick here. And you can see the bay leaf. Now, you don't serve the bay leaf, so spoon this just over here. Get that lovely sweet potato. I will clean the plate, don't worry. But it's a light casserole. It's not heavy. If you want it thicker, that's absolutely fine. But I think it eats really good. And when you cook something on the bone, like the drumsticks and that, they're so delicious and full of flavour, and they just fall apart. So this casserole will keep absolutely in your fridge. A little bit more parsley, so you'll have that lovely kind of sweetness from the red currant. You'll also have the white wine, which will give lovely freshness, and serve with mashed potato. Or actually, you know what I've got to enjoy a casserole with is some rice. Some rice is delicious. So that's my Simply Better chicken. It's a corn-fed chicken. If you see my other video of how to take off the legs and the breast of the chicken, so we're utilising everything, and then the carcass, then you make a stock if you want to, and you can do that in your slow cooker. But cooked in that lovely kind of stock, bacon, all those lovely vegetables. I think it's a really delicious recipe that all the family will enjoy. So it's the ultimate comfort food. That's my chicken casserole with sweet potatoes and bacon.